1, 2, come, let's go. I said 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 1, 2, come, let's go.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back. Thanks for coming. Thanks for tuning in. I've been very, very reluctant to get into this politics and, have an opinion or judgment as far as what's going on and jumping on bandwagons and piggybacking on other people's stuff. I'm not with that kind of stuff. But what I am going to offer you today, I personally consider it a must-watch video. So if you're going to share it, I think this will help give some people some understanding as far as what's really going on. See, a lot of the times, I'm not going to go into no detail about no conspiracies. So this ain't that kind of video. This is not a... Let me start off by saying this. Number one, I'm definitely not a Trump supporter. Number two, I'm definitely not a Biden supporter. I want to get that out the way. Another thing I want to get out the way is this. There are so many opinions out there. So many. And a lot of them have validity. But my personal opinion or my personal research or my empirical findings that will support my current hypothesis, which is an educated guess, on what's going on in the world right now and why a lot of this stuff is transpiring or why a lot of this stuff is happening. Let me just get into the meat of it. So for me, I would say I never asked you to share videos and things like that verbally. I asked you, at the end of the video, with a prompt, visual prompt. But this one, I think if you actually share this one, it'll give some people some clarity. So let me just say, this is a much-watched video as far as what's really going on. So let's get right into it. One of the first things that I personally noticed about the climate, I'm not talking about the weather. I'm talking about this hostile, thick feeling that you feel. It's not the first time it's been here. It's not going to be the last time it's been here. It's always been major shakeups or major shifts in the world. You got the Iran-Contra hearings back in the day. You got Pearl Harbor. You have World War I, World War II. You have Vietnam. You got the Black Plague. You got huge events. Whether they have been created, I ain't say by who, whether they've been created, whether they've been staged, or whether they've been agreed upon or agreed to by a group of individuals to allow an agenda or something to happen, or if they just naturally happen. In the U.S., there's been a lot of them. And this is one of them. This is another one. You see what we're going through with the quote-unquote virus. It's real. It's killing people. It is real. Is it to the magnitude of the Black Plague? Thank God, no. But people are dying due to this virus, so the virus is real. Whether it was created, whether it was allowed to be created, or whether it actually did exist and come about on its own from nature, it's here. And it's killing folk. So, that you got the vaccines, whether they're here to help people, whether they're here to hinder people, we don't know that yet. We don't know good intentions versus bad intentions. We don't know that yet. And we'll touch on that later. But one thing you can always do is something you can always do to figure out what's going on. You got to follow the money. Because really, that's the motivation operation for all of this. It's conquest. It's world domination. I'm not talking in a sense of Armageddon, or which is, you know, the world ending, or killing everybody. Okay, let me stay on track. Let me just stay on point. Population control does exist. It does exist. But if you kill everybody and it's only 12 of y'all there and y'all 12 rich men, y'all gonna fight amongst each other. So, and who are y'all ruling? If it's only 12 people left on earth, who gonna do all the work working for the companies? So population control is effective if you actually are trying to reduce the population to keep the resources within the country, you know, sustainable for that population. Okay, because they have done, you know, I've showed you articles where they have done population control in the past, but population control to detriment your commodities, and we'll get into that too, is no point. So let's get right into this. If you follow the money, I'm not even going to tell you what is what. So let me jump right into it. See, a lot of people, I'm going to say us, because I don't know. I mean, I hear and I'm around and I listen to, and I got colleagues that are other races. So I hear what they have to say, but that's from their perspective. And how can I relate to their perspective when I don't live with them? I didn't grow up with them. I don't know their culture. I don't know what they talk about at the dinner table when, you know, we not around. So I can't really relate to that. What's going on as it relates to us, melanated people, it's real heavy. So for the Caucasians and other races that will actually see this, this affects you as well. But I'm going to put my personal perspective on it from an African-American standpoint, because that's what I am. I'm going to put my perspective on it, but you draw your own conclusions. But one thing they say don't lie is numbers, and that's what we're going to get into. So, I'm going to just read the article. I'm going to start it off. This article, basically, GE and partners signed a $3.5 billion deal. And this was from November 10th, 2017. Chinese airline passengers are taking to the skies in record numbers, helping turn Asia into the fastest growing aviation market. So much so that the International Air Transport Association now, this is 2017 now, it now predicts that China will displace the United States as the world's largest aviation market in 2022. What is the date now? It's 2021. So that's next year. This article was wrote in 2017. 2 years faster than expected. So technically it wasn't supposed to be the 2024. This week, GE signed two major deals. Not one, but two major deals with Chinese companies that will give the trend more lift. Now, that was in 2017. So in 2017, GE looked to partner with China. 2017, who was president? I'm just saying. All right. $3.5 billion deal with China. Another thing, don't pass judgment on what I'm telling you until you get all these facts. I know you might right now starting to feel a little heated and cornered, like, oh, here you go. Just listen. Get your emotional bias out the way. Get your ego out the way and listen. I'm trying to give you some information. Just listen. Now, y'all heard that. This article right here is from The Diplomat. This article says, what does the China-Iran deal? Now we're going to link China and Iran. First you got, if we go back, first you got the United States being unseated by China in the air. Okay? If they're going to be unseated by China in the air, that means they have to get customers. If they get customers, they already got their customer base, but they got to fly other places as well from their country to other countries. Okay? How are they flying? They had to create some planes. Where did they get the technology to build these planes? Do your research. I'm not going to put it out on this one, but if you do your research, you will find out that, quote unquote, possibly they could have reverse engineered our planes and created their own planes. Okay? So when you hear about prominent figures in Congress or prominent figures in, you know, state representatives or things of that nature talking about reverse engineering or copyright infringements for other countries, that's what they're talking about. Basically, somebody created a plane, let's say GE engine, and the Chinese took pictures of it, or they bought an old plane and reverse engineered the technology and created it. That's how it go. Reverse engineer, for those that don't know, it means you got a picture of it and you rebuild it backwards. Okay? So, this next article from the Post. What does China-Iran deal mean for the China-Pakistan economic corridor? So now you got a link with China, Iran, China, and Pakistan. Okay? So you linking those countries together. All right? Let's keep it moving. China and Iran's new deal is a big win for Pakistan and a bigger loss for India. That was August the 14th, 2020. So that article was from this past summer. Okay? Now listen. It talks about, one thing that it said at the end of this article is, that's a big loss for India. Well, why ain't India in on that deal? Why ain't India in on that? You know why? Because the U.S. and India, they do business together. See, one thing this past president was trying to do was create other allies in business to compete with China. So today, in essence, what we're going to have is a macroeconomics lesson. You got microeconomics, which is what's in your pocket and how you pay your bills and how you budget. That's microeconomics. What's going on in these towns, in these little cities? What's going on in these blocks? What kind of revenue is being made at these stores? That's microeconomics. How money is flowing into cities and, you know, states and stuff like that. Macroeconomics is how countries do business. Global business. So technically, what's going on right now is a macroeconomic war. It's always going on, but it just heated up. Okay? The players of the game is billionaires. This game that's going on right now is big boy billionaire business. Big boy billionaire business. And for certain families, it's trillionaire business. See, it's about world domination, but it ain't about world dominating. You got to have a team. You got to have a team. For those that are from the streets, you definitely understand. You could be a one-man show, But if you got a gang, it's easy to eliminate the one-man show. So you have to have allies. So you could be a one-man show but have allies that'll help you fight your enemies. So what's going on right now is these big boy billion and trillionaire families are clicking up. They're clicking up. Now the U.S., I'm not going into the republic, democracy. I'm not going into all that. Basically, the way you got to think about the U.S. is like this. It's a country, quote unquote. It's considered a republic, quote unquote, as well as a democracy, quote unquote. I'm not going down them 3 rabbit trails. But what I will tell, it could be America as well. It could be the United States. It could be North America. It's a lot of different phrases for a lot of different deals. Basically, that's the reason for the verbiage is different deals with different facets of where we live. I'm going to just put it like that. Now, each country has citizens. What do citizens do? Citizens work. They produce. They create. If you live in India or if you lived in China, do you create for the U.S.? Technically, you create your taxes and however they get your money is going to China. So you work for China. Whether you're independent business, whatever. You still work for that country because that's where your business is. I'm going to go fast, but I'm going to keep it on this level. I'm not going to try to use a lot of big words. So you got U.S., India signed contract for 6 more AH-64E attack helicopters. So why is that? Why are they doing that? Why are they doing that? It says deliveries of new helicopters are expected to begin in 2023, which is 2 years from now. India and the United States concluded an estimated $800 million contract earlier this week. Now look, this was February 26, 2020. So that was basically like a year ago. In New Delhi for the delivery of 6 additional Boeing AH-64E Apache Guardian attack helicopters destined for service in the Indian Army's Aviation Corps. So basically India and China, U.S. and India are clicking up. So the U.S. and India are clicking up, but then you got Pakistan, China, and Iran over here. So you got to see how these gangs, or I'm going to call them gangs, these billionaire boys, billionaire businessmen, with their gangs, which is the people in their countries, they clicking up. They clicking up. So let's keep it moving. U.S. and India signed military logistics agreement. This is from Reuters. And this article talks about, and this is August 29th. This was actually in 2016. Now this is prior to what we were just talking about. Washington. The United States and India signed an agreement on Monday governing the use of each other's land. Now, that shows you. Now, this is 2016. So basically what they did is they say, okay, we're going to use each other's land. Listen to that. That's very, very, very important. It's a lot of shifts in the world that help shape the future of the world. And right now, you just happen to be caught in one. You're right now caught in the middle of a shift. What is this shift? The shift is for power. That's why you keep hearing. That's why you keep hearing the transfer of power. They're giving you these verbal cues. They also, I talked in the last video, this ain't about that. But you just have to listen to what they're saying to you. And if they keep saying it, that means they want you to think like that. That don't necessarily mean that it's true. And I'm not going to tell you who they are. But if somebody keep telling you the same thing over and over and over and over, even if you didn't agree with it at first, but you keep hearing it so much, it becomes mundane. And you say, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to roll with that. Because you done heard it so much, it's called breaking you down. Okay? It's called breaking you down. From a behavior standpoint, what I'm doing is I'm shaping your behavior using verbal prompts or verbal cues or physical prompts like get over there or words. He has an army. They're getting more powerful. Those are verbal cues to create fear. Okay? He's this. He's that. He's this. He's that. Those are verbal cues to believe what you're being told. If I keep telling my son, man, you a genius, you smart, you so smart, you smart. That gets in his head and he feels like that and it becomes part of him. And when I teach him what a genius is and he actually embraces that, he becomes that. He feels that, so he works hard. If you want to be a genius, you got to study and work hard. If he does that and gets the grades, he becomes a genius, quote unquote. He gets genius results. So if somebody keep telling you something over and over and over and using verbal cues, every station you turn, they're giving you visual cues, the same pictures over and over and over and over and over, the same pictures, okay? Along with verbal prompts for you to do something, go do this, come do that, you need to do this. All that's happening is they're shaping your behavior to what they want you to be. It's no different than a pimp that catching a young girl that just turned fresh 18. He catch her, start hitting her with that game, keep telling her what she like to hear. After a while, she start believing it. Next thing you know, y'all know what it is. It's the same process. If we're talking about pimp, who being pimp? I'm just saying, what position are you playing? That's all I got to say about that. So, I guess you could say political economics is what I do. I follow the money. That's what I do. I follow the money for personal knowledge. If people ask me information, you know what I'm saying? And if you got money in the stock market and things of that nature, you want to follow your money, like your 401k. If you don't have a clue what you're investing in and you just blindly throwing it out there, you got a mental problem. Or you ignorant, and I'm not trying to make you feel bad. You need to get some, this is your hard-earned money, okay, that you're supposed to have when you old. Wouldn't you want to know how it's being invested and educated on where it's going? Prime example is I was working with a guy. He was in ministry too. It was kind of messed up. He had been like I ain't going to put it out there. But he was in ministry. I'm going to leave it like that. Working for a conglomerate. So a big company, or where he did ministry. He was a part of that, okay? And he had he was actually 66 years old. And he was about to retire that next year. This is back in 2008. Remember the 2008 crash? If you don't, look it up. Some of y'all probably too young. He instantly lost half of his 401k with that crash. He didn't know where his money was invested. Okay? He went from $1 million to $500,000. You know how long it take to make $500,000? If you make $50,000 a year, it takes you 10 years to make that money. That's working 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. That's life he'll never get back. He lost half. Wow. He was depressed, upset. He said, now I got to work till I'm 70 just to retire. That's a different mindset from different cultures. For us, I ain't gonna say for everybody, but the people that I was around, that I grew up around, basically was you get Social Security and that was your lick. And then you do little odds and ends on the side to make it. See, that's a totally different mentality than having 500 bands in the bank and still getting your Social Security check. See, it's different mindsets. But I'm around both of them. You know what I mean? So I have to differentiate who I'm talking to at the time. Let's keep it moving. So if you see, they're trying to create allies. You know, these are nuclear nations. You got to click up. You can't do it all your army. You got the weaponry too. But if everybody is against you and you eating all the food and you ain't let nobody else eat, the wolves coming to get you. And that's what was happening. You wasn't feeding the wolves. Because the mentality is it's take over or nothing. Let's keep it moving. I'm going to show you a map later, but check this out. Why would they sign an agreement to use each other's land? Because we boys, right? If you in this set over here and you in this set over here, if y'all going to have a barbecue and y'all don't got a park, but y'all do, and them your allies, what's going to happen? Bruh, can we use your park for, you know what I'm saying? We want to get our people out there. Yeah, y'all homies, come on over. Come over here and use our park to do what y'all need to do. And we got your back. We going to join in with you. So basically what's happening is this. U.S. and India are clicking up to use each other's land and naval bases. So if you're doing naval bases, that means you sharing intelligence. That means if you sharing intelligence, you must have the same quote-unquote enemies. Or if you're from the streets, if you and them sharing the same intelligence, that must mean y'all got the same ops. You see what I'm saying? So, air and naval bases for repair and resupply, which means we're sharing products. And we're sharing mechanics, which means both mechanics needs to know the knowledge of this common technology. So you share technology, you coming together to share technology. You also coming together to share people. Okay? So this is your clique over here. This is your clique over here. Y'all coming together to form one unit. A step toward building defense ties as they seek to counter the growing maritime assertiveness of China. What does maritime mean? It basically means what's on the water. Basically, it's saying on the water, they see China becoming assertive. Basically, this young little clique, they used to be small, man, they growing, they all right. They coming up. You know what I'm saying? But they've been coming up for a long time. They start pushing their line. They start flexing their muscles. They start bombarding people. Or they got smart and start infiltrating through their brains. Get that money in, loan these countries this money. We come in and take over. You know, hit them with the communism. You owe us. You either ride with us, you either roll with us, or we roll over you. They're going to roll with them. I mean, it's really the streets on a bigger scale. It's really the streets on a bigger scale. And let me clarify this too, okay? Let me clarify this too. In Cincinnati, we didn't have the flagging gangs. We had cliques, we had money crews. We did have neighborhood gangs, but we wasn't to the point where it is now. So in terms of what I'm speaking as is turf. What neighborhood were you from? This neighborhood clicking up with this neighborhood, and y'all come together. Y'all go to a party. Y'all options there. Y'all link up and fight them because it was too many of them. And I'm quite sure in hoods where they flag, it's pretty much the same thing. Okay? And when we say in our city, we didn't say pushing the line. Basically, what we say is we going to take over. I don't want to put it out there, but just take over. I'm going to put it like that. We will try to go and take over the things in their hood. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep it moving. So it's a step toward building defense ties as they seek to counter the growing maritime assertiveness of China. So basically it's saying China is coming up in the sea. They got submarines. They got warships. They building aircraft carriers over there. They got heat. You know what I'm saying? They already nuclear. So they coming up. They flexing. Okay? Now, this is from the UPI, UPI.com. This is February 2020. This is defense news. India and U.S. ink a $3 billion deal for helicopters. Now, this is February 2020. $3 billion. billion. 3 billion. Remember, the other one was 800 mil. This is 3 billion. So these are major moves. These are major moves that's being made with these countries clicking up. Okay? Why are they choosing India? They got a population. Their money is not comparable to ours. I don't want to just say it's worth less like that, but we get more value for the dollar. I'm going to just put it like that. So we could get more things done in this $3 billion deal. Okay? It's like you getting something for dirt cheap and able to, you know, sell it for high for those that's in the street. New York Times. This is from the New York Times. It says, in the wake of recent India-China conflict. Oh, so India and China has a conflict. Who else has a conflict with China? The U.S. How about that? And India and the U.S. just happen to be partners now, clicking up. Now, in the wake of recent India-China conflict, U.S. seized the opportunity. U.S. seized opportunity. India's border dispute with China has accelerated its relations with the United States. Others worry that warning ties ignore India's persecution of Muslims. Others worry that warming these ties would ignore India's persecution of Muslims. I don't want to go down that rabbit trail. But remember, our country did have a problem in the media, quote unquote, with Muslims. But it says others worry that warming ties ignore India's persecution of Muslims. I'm not going to go down there. I'm going to just read that and you formulate in your mind what that means to you. So if somebody got a problem with your religion, but you're going to click up with them, I'm just saying, I'm not going down that trail. I just throw these darts. You pick them and place them where you want them to be. Now, what I want to show you here, is this. It talks about India and China having a conflict. What are they having a conflict about? Well, basically, they're having a conflict over land. On this map, as you can see, India and China are right next to each other. Literally. They're literally right next to each other. And that red area right down here in the middle, toward the bottom, it says the area of tensions. This is from southfront.org. This is their map. Okay? And basically it's showing you the area of tensions. It's showing you where the problem area is. Now, do you understand now, seeing how close India is to China, why the U.S. want to use their land? Because if the U.S. got aircraft carriers over there in the water, airplanes, jets, and army on the ground, soldiers or whatnot, on India's land, do you think China is going to come across that border and not think it's going to be no smoke with the U.S.? Of course it is. Why? Not because the U.S. love India. Hey, they got that pat. $3 billion plus 800 mil. And those are just deals on technology to fly. We ain't talking about other technology and other goods and services and things of that, or labor. They got something to do with that bag. You mess with somebody's bag, you got a problem. And that's what's happening. So you got United States, India clicking up. Look at that turf. Look at that turf. Then you got China right there. China right there is pushing the line. It told you in the article. They pushing the line on India. But the U.S. right there. So let's keep it moving. And on this map, you also see India and China. This is just a different point of view without all the extras on there. This is showing you technically how close they are as well. But what do you see up to the top left? You see Pakistan. You see Pakistan. What is Pakistan? Who does Pakistan border? They border India and they border China. Why don't you think Pakistan clicked up with India? Because you got Pakistan, you got Afghanistan. You also have other countries over there that have the ideology of not wanting to be connected with the U.S. for whatever reason. And China, again, is pushing the line and flexing their muscles. So they're going to see who else, what other clique want to click up with they clique. Okay? I'm not connected with no California affiliation, so I'm not going to speak on those. But for those that are, they can see what's going on a global scale from a street perspective. China pushing the line, India and the U.S. clicked up, Pakistan clicked up with China and some other people. So you see, this is like territories being chopped up. Let's keep it moving. And y'all can see where this map is from right there. Now, what makes Pakistan so significant? Why am I bringing them back up again? Well, you know they had a blackout, right? They had a blackout the other day. And this is not factual. This is just, it's not a rumor, but it's information across the wire that has not officially been proven, but it's definite hearsay, possible facts. I'm only bringing this up because in the behavior world, this would be called a motivation operation. This is a reason. It says Simon Parks explains that the blackout in Pakistan was to look up who Simon Parks is too. Simon Parks explains that the blackout in Pakistan was to stop a major deal from going down in which a CCP front corporation could have bought the U.S. corporate behemoth General Electric for a mere $5.4 billion. $5.4 billion. GE was going to sell for $5.4 billion. I wonder who CCP is. Look that up. I'm not going to do all the work. He said the secret deal was discovered on Nancy Pelosi's laptop. I didn't say that. You did not hear me forecast that. Simon Parks, look up who that is, said that the blackout in Pakistan was to stop that deal for $5.4 billion. He said the secret deal was discovered on Nancy Pelosi's laptop, which was stolen by special forces during the storming of the Capitol last week. I didn't say that. I'm just reading an article as a teacher, as an instructor. Okay? That's what it says. $5.4 billion in the realm in which we're speaking of a country that's worth trillions and companies over there that's worth billions. I mean, $5.4 billion for them would be a drop in the bucket. But once they have that technology, they could do, I mean, that's our airplanes. That's our airplanes. There's other electrical products that they make. They will literally have the schematics of how our airplanes work. And who flies in our airplanes using those engines. You got companies like Boeing that build the planes, but you got GE that makes the engines and other parts. If they know how these parts work, if our enemies knew how our things we were using worked, I mean, don't you think they could use that to do something to us? I'm just saying. I'm just asking. I didn't say it. I'm asking. So, and again, this is not factual. This is he explains it. This is what he feels. This is his hypothesis. CNET. Why did I bring that up? It was just to give you something to think about, okay, till the facts come out. This article is from CNET, and it shows 2021. It shows how Pakistan knocked YouTube offline. It shows how Pakistan knocked YouTube offline. Okay? It literally shows how they knocked YouTube offline. So you got Pakistan knocking off YouTube. Who mainly use YouTube? The U.S. use YouTube. Other countries. But where did YouTube originate from? Keep it moving. Where did it originate from? Type in, where did YouTube start? And it'll show you. I can't do all the work. Use your fingers a little bit, okay? This is from Yahoo.com, Yahoo News. The EU, what is the EU? It's basically the European Union. It's basically a European clique, a European conglomerate. It's a clique over there. The same way in the hood how you got cliques. This block, y'all block. 2 blocks over, that's they block. That's they whole town. It's cliques. So the EU is the European Union. It's a clique of billionaires, countries. Billionaires with territories. China leaders seal long-awaited investment deal. Here we go again. So now China was with Pakistan, Iran. You know what I'm saying? And now they clicking up with the EU. Well, and this was from December 30th, 2020. This literally just happened weeks ago. Okay? It talks about how it's a big deal. I ain't gonna get into the details. Not yet. Let's keep it moving. Now, one thing I do want you to do is look up who the EU is. Look up who the EU consists of. All those countries. Look up who all those countries... Matter of fact, I'll do it. Because I know you're not going to do it. You're just going to sit there on the couch or on your phone and be like, this nigga really think, this guy really think I'm gonna do that. He know I'm not. Well, let me do it for you. So just to let you know, the EU consists of Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Republic of Cyprus, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, listen, France. We used to be cool with them. Germany. We get their products as well. Greece, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, the Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, and Sweden. Now imagine it in your city, right? Imagine in your city if all those were neighborhoods. Germany and France was like big neighborhoods. Greece, Ireland, Poland, those would be more, you know. But imagine all them neighborhoods I named and they clicking up with one big click who done clicked up with somebody else. Y'all strong. Y'all strong. Y'all strong. I want you to think about that. All these people clicking up under China, with China, and they gonna get GE technology. You know what I'm saying? Other technologies from companies from our country and give it to them. Where's the competition? That's like, here's the plan on how to take us over. On how, financially, I'm not talking about war with guns and stuff. I'm talking about financially, because at the end of the day, wars is fought over money. Women and money. Wars is fought over women and money. If you could say it's turf, turf is real estate. Real estate is why you want the turf, because you want to get money on that turf. Money and women. Same thing right here. So let's keep it moving. Now, right now our U.S. national debt, and this is of January 5th, 2020, as you can see, is $27,288,251,959,068. And we just keep getting more and more and more and more and more in debt. Another video. I just want you to think about 27 trillion. How are you going to pay 27 trillion? It's a way. It's definitely a way. But that's another video. Now, I'm bringing this up because all this stuff that's going on right now, I'm relating it to what else is going on. Right now, you know, we got the coronavirus. But what you don't know is they was looking to have coronavirus internment camps. Well, what is an internment camp? I heard of the other type of camp, which I'm not going to say. I heard of the other types of camps for those certain types of people when that happened. But what is an internment camp? An internment camp, basically, well, let's just read. New York takes tyranny up a notch. And this article is from StridentConservative.com. StridentConservative.com. So it says an internment camp. What this is an internment camp for Japanese Americans in World War II, or coronavirus internment camps for New York citizens. What? What are you talking about? Let's read the article. All across America, tyrants at the state and local levels of government have been flexing their liberty-killing muscles with coronavirus mandates. I didn't say that. The article said it. And even as pockets of resistance begin pushing back against this unconstitutional power grab, as we witnessed in New York when local sheriff departments refused to enforce arbitrary mandates, tyranny reared its ugly head once again in the Empire State, where the use of coronavirus internment camps are being discussed as a way to detain anyone that the government believes possess an internment and significant threat to public health. Can they do that? Technically, they could protect the health of the country. Technically. Here they said they want internment camps. Forward Cuomo is already on record as claiming ultimate power over the citizens of New York. That's what the article said. Shortly after several sheriffs announced they wouldn't be enforcing Governor Andrew Cuomo's limits on Thanksgiving gatherings a few months ago because doing so would exceed their jurisdiction. So basically the cops said, hey, going in these people's houses, that ain't in my jurisdiction just to stop them from gathering together. Cuomo accused them of violating their constitutional duty, labeling them dictators for not obeying his command. So he labeling them dictators for not obeying his command. Command sounds like he's being a dictator. I'm just a dictator, or just the first part. Cuomo went further by declaring that the government has every right. So the government has the right to control what happens within the home. That's what Cuomo said. So whether you believe that or not, you go look that up. I'm not touching that. Let's keep it moving. The Untold Truth of America's World War II Internment Camps. This is from grunge.com, okay? So this is a little bit of insight on internment camps, and these would be some people that was in them. Let's give you that information. I'm not going to read the whole article, but what I do want to point out, in the 1940s, the world was definitely a terrifying place. You had World War II, reached every corner of the globe pretty much. People were scared. People was in fear. People was having canned goods put up, or goods put up, I'm going to say. They had goods put up to try to survive. What are people doing right now? They hoarding toilet paper, hoarding water. You know, they got half the cows put up, hunting deer, gardening, you know. People are in that same type of survival mode. So like I said at the beginning, this is not the first time the world has been shaken up. You just happen to be shaken up, right? Getting shook up right now. So, we're all familiar with Germany's concentration camps where people who were deemed undesirable or a threat were sent to live and oftentimes die. That's awful, but surely that was something that only bad guys did, right? Right? Not so fast. And one of those chapters of American history that usually doesn't get taught in schools, the U.S. absolutely did it too. This is this article. This is not me. This is this article, okay, by Deborah Kelly. Just a little differently, around 120,000 Japanese living in the U.S., 80,000 of whom which were American citizens. Remember that. They were American citizens, were forcibly incarcerated in camps. They were commonly called internment camps, but they suggest to be called incarceration camps, or more accurate. As the president of the time, FDR called them concentration camps, once asking, what arrangement and plans have been made relative to concentration camps in the Hawaiian Islands for dangerous or undesirable aliens or citizens in the event of national emergency? That's quote unquote. Or citizens. Undesirable alien? Who were aliens in our country? Bad guys or dangerous people or citizens. That's what the president said, locking you up in a concentration camp or incarnation camp or incarceration camp. I want you to marinate on that for a second. In the end of the article, well, at the bottom of this article, it says this is going to get real. It's getting real now. It's already real. Y'all saw what happened. I'm not going to talk about it. Y'all saw what happened. It's already real. Let's keep it moving. This article right here is from June 2019. And this is from the South China Morning Post. It says Russia and China signed a deal worth $20 billion. Russia and China. This is in 2019. This is 2019 now. A couple years ago now, or a year and a half, whatever you want to call it. It was actually June 6th. That's when this article was written. Russia and China. So you got the EU, which is all them countries. All them countries. You got Pakistan. Remember that? You got Iran. And now you got Russia. They pushing the line, bro. They clicking up. They're clicking up. Russia and China signed a deal worth $20 billion. So again, they sharing that bag. They sharing that bag. I'm going to take care of your people. We going to take care of your people. They sharing the bag. Take this product. Give us the labor. We cool. We straight. We allies. Worth $20 billion as Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin's growing relationship bears fruit. Agreements to boost cooperation in spheres such as energy and technology. Energy and technology. We got gas right now. People trying to move us to electric. If electric companies control the grid, who controlling these electric companies? Well, General Electric was trying to sell their technology. So what do you think gonna happen when these other countries or these cliques, this clique that's clicking up over here, want about energy resources over here or technology from over here? Do you understand what's going on? Are you seeing what's happening? Are you seeing what's happening in the world with the U.S. and these other countries? I thought some of them other countries was cool with us. They clicking up on the other side. They turning into ops. So they highlight closer partnerships in the face of tensions with the U.S. It's literally telling you right here that they clicking up because of tensions with the U.S. This is from Newsweek, okay? Newsweek.com. Iran seeks deals with Russia. Okay, so now Iran was seeking deals with China. Now Iran is seeking deals with Russia and China to build a coalition. It's telling you, basically it's saying they building a gang. They building a gang. I wanna go on the street talk so bad, but I gotta keep it. Hey, they clicking up, bruh. They tying their flags together to resist the U.S. It's telling you the cause. It's telling you why they clicking up. The article literally is right. The truth is literally right in front of your face. What's going on is actually right in front of your face. But you so focused on this small TV, what they're feeding you to keep you distracted. We're going to get into that a little bit. This is what's really happening. These countries is clicking up against us. While we dancing and liking people's houses and seeing what they rolling and what they got on their neck and what they eating and what kind of jokes they got going. And watching them throw a ball in the hoop. Not saying I don't like sports, but we consuming too much time doing that. We not focusing. We not even reading this. We not even focusing on what's going on. Some of these people that's growing up never heard of these countries because I teach in schools. They don't teach them about these countries in school the way they used to. It's not the same. I see the IQ levels of these students right now. To build a coalition to resist the U.S. So they clicking up to resist the U.S. This right here is from Bloomberg, Bloomberg.com. This is September 8th, 2020. This just happened some months back. How China is closing in on its own digital currency. I did a video called Currency when I first started doing this, man. And I talked about how China was creating their own currency and why it was important. Of course. Again, here's proof. I'm not just talking, y'all. You might just, I don't know, whatever. Let me just keep it moving. How China is closing in on its own digital currency. You can't say somebody else didn't try to tell you because I'm telling you. I told you they're creating their own digital currency because once they create their digital currency, they're testing it right now, okay? Once it's a go, if they clicked up with the EU, all them countries, clicked up with Pakistan, Iran, and Russia, what do they need with us? The U.S. dollar is traded with oil. That's how the U.S. dollar is being traded. You know what I'm saying? They use the U.S. dollar for oil. What if the world say, we ain't doing oil no more. We doing electric. We're going to get rid of gas. Remember that in the debate? I'm just saying, we getting rid of gas. Because that's one of our, we got resources in there and we control places with that resource. So they get rid of gas and go straight to electric. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. They could go nuclear. You know what I mean? That's another conversation. But instead of going nuclear, if they just did electric and created electric grids, kind of like what your boy doing over there in Africa, the rapper, kind of what he doing over there, who China gave him $1 billion credit line. $1 billion credit line, and they building out a power grid. Why do you need a power grid? Power cell phone grid. Over there, all people got, they ain't really got no TVs. They got cell phones. Everybody is being fed through their phone. You control the power of the phone. You control the telecommunications of the phone. You control the people. Okay? So from what I'm seeing so far, it's a big country with the bag. It's a big country that's nuclear, and it's a big country over there that's looking to protect them. The country is just basically saying, we need y'all to fall in line with us. Just be with what we with. When we push this line, just be with us. Let me keep it moving. But you could finish twerking, or you could finish getting on, I ain't even gonna say the app that people use and that's from China. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. September 8th, 2020, 12 o'clock. It says, while there is no launch date yet, the People's Bank of China is likely to be the first major central bank to issue a digital version of its currency, the yuan, seeking to keep up and control, listen, to control a rapidly digitizing economy. Trials have been held this year in a handful of cities, and basically tests is consistently being done. Now, we got to go digital. It's inevitable. So for those like myself and others that have grown up with paper money, it's still going to be here because they're going to keep their paper money, okay, for a time. They're going to keep a yuan. If you look up how much a yuan is worth, I'm just going off memory. It's like our money is kind of worth 7 times more, 6.5 to 7 times more their money, depending on the market. So their money is basically devalued, which means a product will cost less there to be made. So other people could invest their money will go longer. If you got $100,000, that'd be like 700 bands over there. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't a country invest in them? If my money over here worth 100,000, but I put it in a bank, and now that money is worth in their products and their services 650 to 700,000. Why would I keep my money in my country? I'm gonna put it over there, and they might give me special interest rates and no taxes, because we agreed to do that because we came together in this big deal. The banks, of course, or corporations. Why wouldn't you put your money over there to be worth 7 times more? You getting a quadruple up just for moving money. That's what's happening, y'all. That's what's going on. It's always about the money. It's always about the money and power. If you do your research on, I'm going to just say the Asian culture, they had a nice run back in the day. The Mongols, they had a nice run. That's another video. They had a nice run. They want that run. They've been building ever since. They want this run back. And I'm just saying it's getting tight. It's getting tight. Tensions. Tensions. Let's keep it moving. What's the plan? Not all the details are out, but according to new patents registered by the PBOC and official speeches, it could work something like this. Consumers and businesses will download a digital wallet into their mobile phone. What did I say? What did I say? This is now, and it's going to definitely be the future. Paper money, I can't tell you to do with your paper money you got put up. All I'm saying is it's going to be digital. That's all I'm going to say. If you got paper money put up, it's going to be digital. You had your warning. Consumers and businesses would download a digital wallet into their mobile phone and fill it with money for their account at the commercial bank. Similar to going to an ATM, they then use that money dubbed digital currency. So basically they take that money, put it in the ATM, similar to an ATM. Now that money's digital, dubbed digital currency, electronic payment, or DCEP, like cash, to make and receive payments directly with anyone. Anyone else who also has a digital wallet. So you can have your gang, you can have your clique, you can have your boys, your family, your friends, your company. Anybody with a digital wallet, you just transfer money. If y'all doing transactions and doing digital wallets, you just moving money around. Now, them over there, I don't know if their regulations are like ours. They might be lax and be like, man, y'all can fly that money however y'all fly. If countries know that, that's like the 80s and the early 90s again, where you could just go buy whatever without being checked on or moving money around. That's basically it's a new renaissance for them. Some questions remain, including the impact on big tech companies such as Ant Group Company and Tencent Holding Limited that already offer payment services. Now, if the Bank of, I need y'all to connect these dots with me. The Bank of China, right? A commercial bank in China is going to fund this. But you already got big companies over there, big technology companies such as the Ant Group Company and Tencent Holdings. They already have payment services. So that sounds like competition with that bank. Who owns those banks over there? Do that research. It leads back to the same people who lightweight running the country. So who's running the country? Who's running the banks? Now, Ant Group Company and Tencent, let's see who that is. Okay? The Ant Group Company, it's a Chinese company known as Ant Financial or Alipay. It's an affiliate company of the Chinese group or the Chinese company. I'm quite sure everybody heard of Alibaba.com. I'm quite sure y'all heard of that. The Wall Street reported that Ant's flagship, basically money market fund, was the largest in the world. I mean, that's just basically what it is. Ant Banks Group, Ant Banks. I love Ant Banks. Ant Banks, make something, man. So just some instrumental stuff. But anyway, Ant's flagship, basically that company was the largest in the world, the money market fund in the world, with over 588 million users, or more than a third of China's population, contributing cash to it. That sounds like a company has power, money, and control. 588 million users. If one of them spent $1 or they just profited $1 in one day, that's 588 mil in one day, bro. That's why they be saying like real money. That's real money. If you got 588 million customers, what if they spent $5 that? What if you profited $5 from each one in one? Oh, I mean, that's real money that's real money on a daily. So whatever millions you got going on, if you rich and you got millions, I mean, kudos to you that you could just relax and do what you want to do. That's some money. This is real money. That's just one company. In October 2020, Ant Group was set to raise $34.5 billion in the world's largest IPO. So they was getting ready to form an IPO, valuing the company at $313 billion. That's a third of $1 trillion almost. That's a company, y'all. That's a company. On the eve of the IPO, China stopped the process from moving forward. Who stopped it? The country, China. It was reported that the Chinese Communist Party, oh, now you found out who CCP was. That the Chinese Communist Party leader, look at that name again, Xi Jinping, personally scuttled the Ant IPO. So basically it's saying this man had a direct hand in saying, you ain't getting that $313 billion bag. I'm just not allowing that. Okay? That's speculation. The other company is Tencent. Tencent Holdings, also known as Tencent, is a Chinese multinational technology conglomerate holding company basically founded in 1998. They do entertainment and artificial intelligence. Entertainment, which keeps you captivated from thinking about what's going on. It keeps you captivated doing other things. And artificial intelligence, which means they're planting things there to think for you, or their citizens rather. It says, and other technologies. Okay? It also talks about how Tencent is the world's largest video game vendor. It is among the largest in social media over there, also venture capital and investment corporation. Its services include social network, music, web portals, e-commerce, mobile games, internet services, payment systems, smartphones, and multiplayer online games. It also owns the majority of global music services, which basically has more than 700 million active users and 120 paying subscribers. If you got 120 million paying subscribers and you paying $10 a month, you see how much money they getting? Monthly, daily. This is billionaire business. This is what's going on right now. This is why the economy is so important. This is why these tensions is so important. This is why voting for your people that understand this stuff is important. I don't care who you vote for. I don't care what your party is. If they not understanding this, they don't know what's going on. They don't. All right, we're getting close to the end. Let me get ready to get this finished for you. So it basically says in 2018, Tencent had the 5th highest global brand value. So this is the 5th largest company in the world in China. Then you also got the other company, because it says it's a Chinese multinational technology corporation conglomerate, which means it's a bunch of companies up under it. Then you got the other company, which is basically the biggest company in the world in China. Okay? Y'all getting the picture? Are you getting the picture? Who got the bag? Okay? We got a $27 trillion deficit. They got surpluses over there. Okay? Matter of fact, let me see if I can look it up real quick without taking too much time. Basically, right now, it says the IMF estimates updated last week that suggests the fiscal stimulus measures announced by China to deal with COVID-19 pandemic will amount to 3.6 trillion yuan this year. Thus, the general government deficit will likely exceed 15% of gross domestic product. I ain't thinking like, what is all of those words? It's basically how much money the country owes and how much money the country makes. The deficit in the third quarter is likely to be bigger. The August deficit annualizes over 800 billion. So China actually right now has a surplus. It says China's surplus is rising rapidly, so is the U.S. deficit. That's a whole nother video. This is October 20th, 2020. Basically, China has a surplus and it's rising rapidly, which means they stacking bread. They getting money. So is the U.S. deficit, which means we're constantly losing money or constantly going in debt. Do I even want to read this? I'm not going to read this because it might make you more depressed. Long story short, this is an article from CFR.org, Council on Foreign Relations 100. It even say on here, follow the money. That's what I do. China's surplus is rising rapidly. A surplus is you got mass put up. Your stash huge. You got a surplus of money. You got a bunch of money, and it's rising fast. Our debt is going up, which means we have a deficit, which means we owe. We got to keep paying out. But with this coronavirus, which tried to take our economy down, why would the coronavirus take our economy down? I know it affected the world, so a plan could have backfired if it was ever a plan. But if the coronavirus constantly got us going in a deficit and other countries is going up and they got a bigger clique, do you see what's going on without me saying it? I hope you understand. Now, that company, that 10-cent company, let's get back to that. That 10-cent company, basically, they own 100% of Riot Games. They're a publishing partner in China to its majority stakeholder after paying $400 million for a 93% stake. Basically, they paid $400 million to get 93%. They wind up buying the other 7%, and it's basically saying the purchase of Riot, or IoT, was nothing short of a great move. The League of Legends is the most popular PC game in the world, pulling in an estimated $1.4 billion in revenue last year. So that game made $1.4 billion last year. You know, Riot Games remains largely free to steer the game. Now let's keep it moving. Epic Games. I'm going to just go ahead. They own 40% of that. Tenant's $330 million investment in Epic Games basically allowed them to make $2.4 billion just off of Fortnite. That's just off of Fortnite. That's just off of Fortnite alone. Fortnite made $2.4 billion. And Epic Games, they own 40% of Epic Games. They getting real money over there. I'm just saying. Now, we talked about Alibaba earlier. We talked about the CEO. We talked about that company being one of the richest companies in the world. But Jack Ma, he came up missing. That was the guy that was running it. In this article, right here, in investorplace.com, Jack Ma, he came up missing. Remember, China, the CCP, they basically deaded that deal. That might not be the only thing they did it. I said might. Jack Ma missing. Baba stock takes a hit on rumors of Alibaba CEO disappearing. Jack Ma missing. The question is stirring up quite a buzz on Monday as investors process news that Alibaba, it didn't say the police. It didn't say the police was worried. It said investors. It said investors was worried, not his family, investors. That's showing you, again, it's about the money. It basically saying in this article that they took a hit. They took a 2.5% hit on this stock. That's like over $8 billion. $8.25 billion. That's like over $8 billion hit just off a rumor, and he come on. $8 billion, that's a lot of money. A billion is 1,000 million. That's 8,000 million. Buy something with 8,000 million. That's a lot of money. Now, guess what else? Guess who else rolling? We got Australia. This is actually from abc.net. Australia, and this is November 15th, 2020. Australia signs regional comprehensive economic partnership, the world's largest trade deal. I wonder who Australia signed this deal with. Let's check out who Australia signed this deal with. The largest trade deal in history has been signed with 15 countries, including Australia, agreeing to the pact, which covers 30% of the global economy. So this deal covers a third of all the countries in the world economy. A third. Now, we're just talking about China with some hundreds of billions and trillions, a third of the global economy. Without going into detail, it says the U.S. President Donald Trump did not attend the ASEAN meeting for the third year in a row. Well, what's the ASEAN meeting? In hurting the benefits of the deal, Trade Minister Simon Birmingham again voiced concern over China's trading behavior, urging Beijing to respect the international trade rules and focus on evidence when making decisions about imports of Australian goods. Now, I said this is the world's largest deal. The signing on the dotted line was expected to happen late Sunday during this year's virtual meeting. Now, it says the countries involved are Australia, China, so Australia flipped on us, Japan, South Korea. I thought we was cool with South Korea. I'm just saying. New Zealand, and the 10 members of the ASEAN or ASEAN, including Indonesia and Vietnam. Remember, we had smoke with Vietnam. And Vietnam. Well, let me go here real quick before I get to that. Let me just say this, man. I hope y'all really see what's going on. At the end of the day, man, these countries are clicking up against us. These countries are clicking up against us. It sounds like to me, we over here, we got India, we got some other allies, but the EU over here, they got their clique. You got China, they got their clique. You got other countries that got their clique. We got other people I haven't mentioned, and I did that on purpose. But I want you to understand what's going on. All them countries I named is looking to click up with China because they got the bag right now. They got the money. They see an incline. Okay? How does that affect us? And we about to end. It affects us all, black, white, and indifferent. But what it does not affect the same is the population. White people, black people, Mexican people, Chinese people in our country, or whatever other individuals. From a black person's perspective, this is how it affects us, y'all. Because y'all getting so hyped up on these candidates. At the end of the day, it's for their greater good. I'm talking about the candidates. I'm talking about the lobbyists. I'm talking about the people in position to benefit. If we benefit from it, microeconomically, which is our neighborhoods, our communities, our children, it's great. But if we don't even know what we're voting for, that's bad. And when somebody says somebody is pro-China or pro a country, I don't care who it is. I'm not saying a specific person. I don't care who it is. If they're with that clique, with them other neighborhoods or them other countries, okay? If your homie who grew up with you, who been in the same business for 40 years or been in the same hood, say, bro, I'm going to the ops. And you should come too. You should come with me. You should tell all your people to come with me. You should tell all your boys, all your family members to turn against they hood, where they live at, and roll with this new leader right here, this new gang that's clicked up with the ops. That's as plain or as low, or I don't want to say low, That's the least uneducated way that I can explain what's happening for the common man to understand, for the common guy smoking the blunt. I'm fighting love and hip. Oh, I don't mean to say that. I'm fighting other shows that's distracting you, that's been created by technology, or apps that's been created strategically to control your behavior, to get you to not focus on things like this or how we can build. What happened to us was systematic. I'm not just talking about the racism, y'all. Because it's systematic, everybody in this country got a role. The role you have is the role you choose to keep. Slaves got tired of that role, so they chose not to keep that role no more. And it changed. During civil rights, you know what I'm saying? We got rocked to sleep. We got rocked to sleep by our leaders. I'm not saying good leaders, bad leaders. I'm not saying ignorance. I'm just saying we got rocked to sleep, y'all. Instead of wanting better, we wanted equality. Why wouldn't we want better? You know? I'm not going against nobody. Again, it's about love. But I'm saying for African Americans, for my people, y'all. I don't care. You could combine all the street money we, quote unquote, in the streets supposed to have. It ain't adding up to no 313 billion. It's not. That's the reality. Your bag is not going to determine how we going to get out of this, y'all. If we not creating companies that's making $313 billion or $313 million, $313 billion, if we ain't doing $2 and $3 billion deals, we ain't making no noise. Them people ain't thinking about us, man. They're like, man, they little boys. That's our little homies. They ain't even little homies. Them are crash dummies for real. All we got to do is, hey, take this $2 million, tell people what to say, teach them how to shake, tell them how to talk, tell them school is for nerds, tell them you got to go get a number to earn your stripes, and you Gucci. And throw on some clothes that cost 4 times the money they making in a week. Don't go buy no books or learn how to budget. Go buy some shoes that cost 4 paychecks. I'm just saying. I ain't talking about number economics. I'm not getting into no personal problems and PTSD suffered. Wake up right now. Know your numbers. Know your numbers. Know what's really going on. Know what's really going on. When that rapper, the guy that's on top of New York, you know what I'm saying? When he said a certain amount of money is nothing, when he let Hammer have it, I like Hammer, by the way. But when he said that about Hammer, he wasn't lying. Like, that's little money compared to what them boys really playing with. Let me go ahead and end. The reason I'm bringing that up with you putting all your hopes and dreams into these people that really know what's going on, they spinning you, man. I don't care what politician it is. 9 times out of 10, you getting spent because it's called politics. It's not called truth. It's called politics. This is from Brett Bart. This is from Brett Bart. This is not me talking. This is Brett Bart. It says, NYT confirms Hunter Biden Bank of China deal. Leaves out key details. New York Times confirms Hunter Biden Bank of China deal leaves out key details. So basically it's connecting Hunter Biden with the ops with the bag. It says it leaves out key details. The Tuesday New York Times article, and this was May 21st of 2019. Article confirms relations in Peter Schweizer's best-selling book, Secret Empire, so go check that book out. I haven't read it. Regarding the $1.5 billion deal Hunter Biden's private equity firm secured from the state-owned Bank of China. Remember what the state-owned Bank of China is doing, creating their own currency, financing other people, stopping other companies from being the biggest in the world, while his father was vice president, however. The Times omits key details that call into question statements made by Biden's associates about the foreign financial deals engulfing his father's 2020 presidential campaign and scandal. Hopefully, everything I've explained to you about what China is trying to do from an economic standpoint is resonating or is processing in your mind. For those that understand money, at least a little bit, you've already connected these dots. You've already connected the dots. So by you already connecting the dots, you understand what's going on. And let me recap. You got China, who, they doing their thing. It is what it is. They doing their thing. They trying to come up. I know a lot of their history because I've read it, studied it, tested on it, taught it, all of that. But they want their position back. They want to be the top dog. And why wouldn't they? Every country should. I'm not agreeing with them because I'm in another country. I'm not. Not me personally, but our country is. You know what I'm saying? As far as financially, we only talking about financially. We're not talking about hating, nothing like that. But financially, they whooping on us a little bit. They whooping us. We got a deficit. They got a rising surplus. They got top 5. We already named the one of the biggest company, the biggest company in the world over there, and the 5th largest in the world. They got 2. Then they creating their own currency. What? Imagine having customers on your block and they can only pay for your product with your money that you put out. Oh my God, that's built-in clientele. Oh! And the people that's supplying them use your currency. So you watching the money move, you see where the money moving to, so you know who to feed. It makes sense. It makes sense. This is what's happening. And people or people putting people in power to roll with the ops. And they currently getting, or they people, kids is getting a bag. That's why you see people marching to Washington. I don't know from the point of entry what happened with other groups infiltrating other things. I don't know. I don't know nothing about that. I wasn't there. I can't tell you that. I'm not going to pretend to know. But what I do know is I seen people marching for a cause. This is it. They fear, they understand, a lot of them, what's going on. Why would they understand and why wouldn't we understand? Because probably a bunch of them have inheritances, 401ks, trust, college funds, life insurance fundings, stocks and bonds, annuities, variable interest rates. They have vacation homes. They have rental properties. They have LLCs. They have S corporations. They have nonprofits. These people have assets that are supposed to sustain their lineage. If another country comes and takes us over, those assets disappear, which means the wealth of their lineage disappears. That's why you see people marching. That's why you saw them marching. They have companies. A lot of us don't understand this, man. A lot of us don't understand how economics work. A lot of us don't understand how global economics. I did another video on that about the Rockefeller families. Them changing. Look it up on my page, on my channel. How they said, hey, we're going to turn to electric versus fossil fuels and solar. Come on, man. It's bigger than you and your car. It's bigger than you and your Cadillac. I like caddies. But it's bigger than that. It's bigger than you and your $1,000 jeans. It's bigger than you and your stash and your car you roll. It's bigger than that, man. This is what they mean by generational wealth. Billions. Billionaires clicking up with other billionaires that got a gang. And I'm going to call it a gang. Because if you look up the definition of a gang, it's just a group of people that got a common goal, a common cause. Okay? Technically, we are U.S. citizens, so we the U.S. gang. Just like you go to the feds, you in a car. You in certain cars. You Ohio car, Kentucky car, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Cleveland car, whatever. Well, Ohio's Cleveland, but Georgia car, whatever. Go to the state joint, you got your cliques. You got your gangs. Well, they got their cliques and their gangs too, y'all. It's just on a much, 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 much bigger scale. So to end this lesson in political economics, this is political economics. I ain't never heard of that. Well, that's what it is. We talking politics, but we more so talking about economics, but we bringing them together. This is political economics. Political economics with A.D. Jones. And again, I'm putting a philosopher on there because this is my personal philosophy. This is my personal philosophy. You don't have to agree with it. I'm just giving you some information. I'm the motivational inspirational informationalist. That's me. I coined that. That's me. Last but not least, let me get out of here. Like I said, this is big boy billionaire business wars. That's what this is. And we the people, you know how they say we the people of the United States, or we the people. We the people are cattle. We're cattle. We trade it, our labor is traded like a commodity, like cattle. Beef is $2.45 a pound right now. $2.45 a pound. $2.45 a pound. Beef futures trade at different levels. I ain't gonna go on, that's a whole nother lesson. We're not gonna get into the commodity market, puts and calls, stop losses and things. We're not even gonna go there. You're not even ready for that. But we the people are cattle, we're a commodity. We heard just like cattle do in protests. We heard for a common cause. We heard. But a lot of the time, if any of you have never been on a farm, pull up a video on YouTube about cows. You could scare it could be 25 cows. They bigger than you, way more than you. You could say, and they'll run. That's cattle. You do this to well, I ain't going to downgrade my people. But my people hit a certain level of fear. So We the people are cattle. We heard in protest. We run when you know we hear that loud noise, just like cattle. Rah! Cattle run, all of them. The bull might look at you like, "Come over here, I got something for you." But them cattle, they running. Them the girls. We get prodded at birth. When you come out, what's the first thing they do? Hit you with the shot, pop, pop, vitamin K or whatever. They hit you with the little foot stamp. You get your number. You know what I mean? After a while, you get a name. They name you, then you get a social security number. They prodded you. You're prodded. You are the U.S. commodity. That's why when you fill out a job application, are you a citizen of the U.S.? Yes, I am U.S. cattle. I'm U.S. beef. I'm U.S. cattle. Yes. The vaccines that they given, I have not researched what's in them. You know, I looked a lot of it up, but it's, let me put it to you like this. I don't know enough yet to talk about it, but the vaccines could be the future of getting a vaccine, and you getting, I know you heard about the artificial intelligence, you having a chip in you. Why would they want to do that? Why would they want to do that? Is it really to control you mentally, or is it to make sure you have cattle identification in case they ship you somewhere else and you got to do some work for them? That's your identification. Your U.S. cattle. The future. I'm just saying, it's sharing, they sharing airspaces. I mean land. They sharing labor. If it's a takeover, you know who's who. If they got the chip in you, they just scan you. They getting the technology from the companies that's selling it to them. I mean, they said they selling their company for $3.5 billion or $5.4 billion or whatever they doing. That deal was stopped. But you're not just selling product. You selling everything. Knowledge, know-how. And if you never handle a corporation being sold, the people that's working for that company, a lot of the CEOs and them other people got to keep working there for like a year or two so they could teach them everything. So they want to know it all. So they giving up all the secrets. Everything. Because they own it. It's big, y'all. I mean, I hope this did not go over your head. Basically, our health, what do they do? In order to profit, they feed you, well, they present unhealthy foods that give you enough energy so you could produce enough money to pay your bills or stay in debt. But when the milk dried up, I mean, you basically meat. Like, basically, you get a cow, a mama cow, she giving milk, she making all gallons of milk. Long as she producing, she cool. Having kids, they forcing her to have kids. Boom. You know, keep getting her pregnant so she could produce milk. Keep producing calves. They produce more cows to produce more milk. But when this old lady cow dry up, oh, we got to chop you down for beef. Sell you. What happened to us? You know, we get this food, we get enough to sustain. If people smart, they eat right. We got to get back to that. That's on us. That's another video. But we produce, then bodies start breaking down systematically based on what we've been eating. Now you need their medicine. They making money off of you that way. You got to go to the doctor. Transportation to get to and from. You got to pay bills. They own the property. Your house could be paid off. You still got to pay taxes on what you already paid off, the land. Even if you buy land, you're still paying taxes on land constantly. I don't get it, but anyway. You keep paying until you die. And when you die, you going in a box and you got to pay for a funeral. Which they get money from you going. You get money from you going. You know what I'm saying? If you got assets. Did you know this? I don't even know if you. No, that's another video. But listen. We the people are cattle. I be trying to motivate y'all. I be trying to say positive stuff. But this is what it is. We're not just cattle, but we act like cattle because we're not doing enough independently together for the common good for ourselves. I love America, but it could be way better. We just need to change some things, do things more, in my opinion, more holistically. I ain't gonna get into that. Long story short, you got people that want divisiveness so they could profit. Let's leave it like that. Last but not least, they have the money. These billionaire business big boys. They got the money, real money. They got the power. They got the influence. They got partnerships. And they take oaths. I don't want to step on his toes. And they take oaths. Why do they take an oath? Because they'll be willing to die. What do gangs do? Gangs ride or die. I'm not affiliated, so I'm not going to speak on their business. That's not my business. But from what I saw, once you in, you in. Once you in, you're in. They take an oath. And the thing about them is they make the rules. He who has the gold makes the rules. That being said, I'm pretty much done. I hope this helped. I hope this brought clarity. I hope this hit home. I hope it showed you what's really happening. It's bigger than what you're seeing on TV. So the person you put in power either gonna roll with us and push us up and boost the U.S. up, or they rolling with the ops for the bag. That's what it boiled down to. You either rolling with the ops for the bag, or you rolling with who you already rolling with for your own bag. And if you struggling with a deficit, but you got that firepower, they can't just come get you, even if you owe down, even if you owe money. You're not coming to get it yet because we got artillery, so you can't cash in yet. You're not going to crash us. I'm going to fix this. And you've been cheating us. According to the paperwork, not no words, according to the deals. You can look up the trade deals and see what's happening with them. You know what I mean? That being said, that's all I got to say. I hope this helped you. If it didn't, see you in oblivion. I'm going to holler at you. Till next time, these.
Run to